good afternoon, and good evening to you, the good and wonderful people of the tube. Hope you're today, hope you're feeling grand and always by your world. Hello! Today I have a guitar to show you. It is this. This is my own relic of Rory Gallagher's Stratocaster that I've done myself. I've always wanted a Rory replica, as Rory's a big part of my musical life, and I love the man, I love his music, and I love that guitar. It is just ridiculous, like iconic to me and a lot of people. So, what was this originally? This was in a Squire Affinity originally. It originally had a big headstock. I had to cut that down and take the finish basically pretty much all off. I say that's the front, that's the back. There's not a lot left. I had to stain, obviously, you know, the kind of clear coat that's on it off, which was very difficult to do because the clear coat doesn't really take stain very well, because the wood underneath isn't that great to be kind of like taking it down to the wood. So that's the clear coat. There's a gouge here, which I'll show you in a bit. That's the actual wood. So yeah, basically just a case of chipping it away where I didn't want it and getting the patterns as right as I could, really. I've got 3 Tone Rider pickups. That's a 50s spec one. The bridge and middle are a kind of 60s spec. I've got it wired the way Rory had his wired, which is 5-way selector. Middle tone does nothing. On Rory's it didn't even move, it was kind of like solid. Master volume and master tone on the bottom there, so you can kind of do those. And you can do those cool things with warp slide. So that's how I've got it wired. The 5-way is really important. And the master tone is really important to play like Rory. The tremolo is blocked off totally with 5 springs. I ain't got a bit of wood in there yet, but I'm planning to soon. It's really important to have the springs in the back. It gives the guitar a natural kind of reverb. It's very strange. I don't know if you have to hear that, but I feel Fender's version is a very poor attempt. Personally, they had access to the actual guitar. They had access to how it looked, how it was wired, and they still didn't do any of that. It's got a 3-way selector. The tone isn't wired up to the bridge pickup, which you need. It doesn't look played in. It doesn't feel played in. It just looks rubbish, and the wear doesn't look very good to me. It just looks... It's just a very poor attempt in my opinion. But regardless of that, anyway, moving on. Sound we're using today, obviously is for CR120's Dirty channel. But I'm using a treble booster, because you have to if you're playing Rory. So this is the CR120's Dirty channel without, I've got the gain at 5, and this is without the treble booster. So it's kind of broken up, kind of pretty big sound, but if you have the treble booster it gets even more. could play all Rory songs all day and they'll get bored. I love the way he digs in as well and gets those pinch harmonics. Oh, it's amazing! Oh. Okay, anyway. Let me give you a close-up of this guitar, as I'm very, very happy with it. I'm very, very proud of it. So, let me give a close-up. Okay, hello again. Hi there. Starting with a headstock of a Rory Strat. You can kind of still see the Squire logo in there. I kind of got rid of it, but I wanted you just to be able to see it, just like Rory's kind of Fender logo. So that's still there. I'm really happy with how that came out. As you can see, the headstock is just, I have trashed it. I've just dinted and dented it. I replaced the string tree with a really rusty one I had. I had a really rusty string tree, and I thought I'll put that on. Machine heads are just stock to the Squire Affinity. They're the lock-in ones. They're really good. I didn't see the point in replacing them. Rory actually had, I think it was 5 Goto machine heads from the A to the high E, and his low E was a Spurzel. So it's just a ramshackle guitar, but you know, whatever made it work really. The neck, when I got it, was really light brown. I didn't like it at all, so I kind of stained it off. Kind of a darker brown. It just looks more played in that way, and you know, it came out. I was really happy with the way it came out. And I actually did it with permanent marker, everybody. So it was just your general permanent marker. I just coloured in the wood, and eventually it wore in as I played it. Got dirty fingers for a couple of days, but after a while it just got really dark like that, and it just looked really cool. I was really happy with it. So moving on to the body. Here's the top horn, and I've always thought this top bit of wear here on Rory Strat looks like some kind of weird dragon with its mouth open. Like that's the eye, the nose, and the mouth. I've gone mad in my old age here, but you know, and I don't feel Fender kind of got that pattern right. I mean, I'm not saying I did by any stretch of imagination or means, but because Rory's Strat was aged naturally, and because it aged the way it did, it's a freak occurrence, and you're never going to get it perfect. But I just feel that the Fender one doesn't quite do it justice. You know, let me know what you think if mine does or anything. I mean, I personally don't think it's that close either, but I'm a lot happier with this than I am with the Fender version. Anyway, moving on. So this is the clear coat. Well, I've stained off kind of like a darkish kind of brown, dirty kind of black, horrible brown, kind of just very dirty looking. This gouge, this is Rory's plectrum gouge. It blew my mind that this line here, where it jumps back into the wood, was like perfectly straight. If you look at close-up pictures, it looks perfectly. It looks perfectly straight. I don't know if it is on the real one. I've never had actually contact with the real one, but it looks perfectly straight. So I kind of replicated that there with that gouge. That's the actual wood as well. I don't know what wood it is. It's not particularly great. It doesn't really have a wood grain as such. It's okay, but. Yeah, obligatory broken scratch plate there, held together by the screw, which is kind of what happened to a lot of 60s Strats. Again, more dirty finish, stained off with just a black wood dye, just dabbing it on basically, makes it look filthy. Top bit of wear there. You can see, like, you know, the dark bit of sunburst there, and then, you know, it fading into the lighter bit. And there's the bottom half, which looks kind of melted by Rory's acidic sweat. Jack socket, it's all scratched up and dinted and dented. It's not really picking it up very well on the cam, unfortunately, but it's kind of rusty in there. It's all, yeah, you can kind of see the dints and dents. It looks better in real life than it does on camera. The tremolo bridge, I haven't done anything to it. I didn't get it rusty or anything. I just didn't see it. I don't want to at this point in time. Rory changed his at some point to bridge saddles like this, and a whole, you know, from what I can see, it's like a whole kind of like bridge plate to look like this. And when he first changed it out, if you see early pictures, it was shiny and it was very kind of like this. So I just thought I'd leave it. These are the tone riders. If I put my hand there, I've aged the tops, kind of make them look a bit yellowy. So that's a 60s, that's a 60s, and that's a 50s. You've got the truss rod recess. I say master volume, that does nothing. Master tone, 5-way selector. The scratch plate is actually greenish yellow. It's not, again, it's not coming across very well on the camera, unfortunately. It looks more white than it actually is. What we've got around the sides, that's a little bit of wear that he had left on the side there. A little bit more in the, you know, on the other horn. That's there on there, a bit more around there. Flip it over. Squire, just to show you, thought I'd keep a back Squire plate. Sanded off the neck, made that all dirty. More wear on the back there that I've tried to replicate. There was a bit of wear here, which I missed, and I'm not too happy about that. That kind of annoyed me, but, you know, such is life. A bit of wear all the way up here around the back plate, all the way around there. I kept the back plate on as Rory did. I don't normally, these normally just end up in a box or in the bin. I don't use these, I think they're silly. But Rory had his on, and I filed out the holes bigger so you can actually change strings with it. No finish on the top whatsoever. A little bit there. You know, this bit here was the hardest bit to get. As I say, this guitar was polyurethane as well, so it is possible to relic a polyurethane Strat to make it look, you know, like a battered and beaten one. Anyway, I think I've rambled on enough about this guitar. I love this guitar. I'm so happy with it. It was a pig. It didn't work for a while. The electrics were being gits, but now, you know, it works. Touch wood. And I love it to bits. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Oh yeah, and really crazy detail. I got these 2 scratches there and dints in the scratch plate there, which are on Rory's. I went a bit mental with the detail. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again very soon for another one. Goodbye now.